Hello students, welcome to another video of Unit 3 River Valley Civilizations. In this video, we will be covering ancient Egypt along the Nile River. Remember that there are 3 other river valley civilizations which we will be studying as well. Egypt is, again, located along the Nile River Valley, shown in green on this map here, and it actually flows north based off of the higher elevation in Upper Egypt and the lower elevation in Lower Egypt, including the Nile Delta. Just like the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the Nile River floods once a year, although it's much more predictable than the Tigris and Euphrates. Leaving behind a rich soil, farmers would use irrigation to control the flooding. And initially, Egypt was broken into the Upper Egypt down here and Lower Egyptian kingdoms. It's important to note that their neighbors to the south are an empire called Nubia or Kush. Remember, Egypt is united in 3000 BCE, and from then on we have a series of dynasties or ruling families. The first time period is the Old Kingdom, the second is the Middle Kingdom, and the third is the New Kingdom. Remember, Nubia or Kush is developing right alongside the ancient Egyptian empire. Ancient Egypt was broken down into 4 social classes, with the pharaoh or the ruler at the top, the government workers, scribes, priests in the upper classes, the merchants, tradesmen, and artisans in the middle class, and finally the laborers or the farmers in the lower class. Remember, enslavement was based off of being a prisoner of war in the ancient world, and they usually worked on rich landowners' farms or in gold mines in Egypt. Concerning politics, Egypt was divided into 2 kingdoms before they were united under a king called Narmer, shown in the crowns here with the double crown. The rulers of Egypt were known as pharaohs or god kings. Some of the more famous examples is Ramses, the longest ruling pharaoh, and Hatshepsut, one of the few female pharaohs shown down here. The ancient Egyptians had dynasties where the rulers passed the power on in the family, and they were also a theocracy combining religion and politics. In terms of economy, Egyptians were mainly farmers who worked on rich landowners' estate, but they also used the Nile to conduct barter trade, kind of like a highway, stopping along cities along the way. In addition to trading with Kush, which was nearby, they also traded with civilizations like Mesopotamia. In terms of art and culture, ancient Egyptians were creating a wide variety of things, including linen clothing, tomb paintings, and turning papyrus reeds into paper. The ancient Egyptians were polytheistic, believing in many gods. Some examples of their names are shown here. They're also shown in this tomb painting in the afterlife. Contrary to popular thought, pyramids were not temples. They were actually burial sites for bodies. Initially, they were burial sites for pharaohs and then many other people. They would mummify the body, placing it into the pyramid with all of the goods that somebody would want to take into the afterlife with them. Mummification just refers to the preservation of the body. In terms of science and technology, ancient Egyptians were master builders, relying on their study of geometry. They also created a 365-day calendar to track their flooding of the Nile using astronomy and the different phases of the moon. Just like the Sumerians, they create a writing system to keep track of surplus called hieroglyphics, shown up here, a largely pictographic writing system. And we are able to actually read most hieroglyphics today because of the Rosetta Stone discovery, which has 3 different scripts, including Greek, which we can read, which we use to unlock hieroglyphics. Remember, Nubia or Kush is in Upper Egypt to the south of Egypt, modern-day Sudan, also located along the Nile. Initially, they were conquered by the Egyptians, but they became a major trading empire with their capital city at Meroe. They also created pyramids and traded luxury goods like iron, ebony, ivory, and gold. Eventually, they're taken over by their neighbor Aksum, modern-day Ethiopia. That's all for ancient Egypt. Please remember to take notes that you can refer to at a later time.